Hey guys, what's up? This is Erin here at Erin's Beauty Minute, and just need to throw that out there. If I sound like I am sick, that is because I am sick. I had to babysit 3 babies yesterday who all had a cold, and yeah, so I ended up catching it. Not real happy about that. So basically, I'm kind of just chilling out for today and just keeping my liquids up and trying to knock this before it gets any worse. Ugh. So, if you see me like going for like my cup of drink, there is a cup of coffee. Probably shouldn't be doing that when I'm sick, but I'm also really tired. So, yeah. So you're gonna see that little introduction here. This is my mug of choice here. He looks like he looks amused for a reason. It's one of those days. So now that I can just shut up and get to the point, today's video is to see whether these puppies, and I have 2, they're the same thing. They are called, these are from e.l.f. and they're called the dual-sided silicone blender. So I don't know if you guys all remember the Silicone era. I still have it, still like it. These guys actually are pretty good too. You have one side that is the silicone side, and then you have almost like a felt, I think that's what they're called, but almost like a felt surface. So the idea is that you spread your foundation around with the silicone side, and then you basically pat it in with the felt size. I'm gonna call it felt. Don't know actually what it is, but it feels like that, so I'm just gonna call it that. And then of course I have my Silicone knockoff, and I actually applied this foundation with this yesterday, as well as doing a little bit with these guys. And the foundation, it happened to be my favorite, but I have been testing these guys with other foundations, and this just really is the best foundation that has worked with them. And no, I'm not being biased when I say that, okay, it worked with my favorite foundation. I still had I was still skeptical, and I was still maintaining an unbiased view of it. So just know that, so that you don't go, oh, well, it was your favorite foundation. Yes, it was. So you guys probably know it's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in the shade Rose Ivory. It doesn't oxidize on me. It blends really well. It gives me the kind of coverage that I particularly need. And it's just a great foundation, and I need to order more because this is getting low. So basically, I'm gonna zoom you in, and we're gonna test out these guys. I'm gonna show you these guys and how they work, and go from there. I'm not going to show you the test of this foundation with the Silicone, because you guys have already seen me put foundation on with a Silicone. So I just want to really show in a review, a little hit or miss here, of it really working with product. So you're going to see me applying foundation with it, and we're also going to use concealer and do it that way. So for primer, for like face primer, I actually used the e.l.f. Daily Hydration Moisturizer. That's the daytime one that you should use, obviously in the morning. But I use that, and it's actually kind of tacky. So that means that for me, I can use that actually as a primer. I am going to put on some eyeshadow primer right now, because I do also want to test for you guys, and as well as myself, how really this is going to apply given how these guys work. So I'm going to go ahead and put on an eyeshadow primer right now. It's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. And I'm going to go ahead, and it is slightly pigmented. If you guys have never used it, it is very slightly pigmented. And I really hope I don't lose my voice by the end of this. But I put on just a little bit here. I rub it out a little bit on my fingers and apply. Sorry about my phone. I always think that I have turned it off and then it just does that. So I will be turning that off. But anyway, there we go. So turn you down, sir. Okay, there we go. That happens. Alright, so now that everything's primed, I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in. There we go. So you see that I have a lot of pigmentation. I'm very red right here and right here. Pardon the lip stain. That came from a lipstick that I've been obsessed with, so just excuse me on that one. So again, we're going to go back into the dual-sided silicone blender, and you clean this the exact same way that you would have cleaned the Silisponge, which is just basically run it under some water, rub soap around both the silicone and definitely on the cloth side, and it comes clean right away just like the Silisponge did. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a mirror here, and I can already see where some extra pigmentation is right now, and I'm not too thrilled about that, but oh well. That's what we're here to figure out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this. I'm gonna take my foundation, shake it a little bit, and then apply it to the silicone blender. I've got a good amount on here, so I'm going to take it and just do this. This is on the silicone side, so we'll start with that much. We'll start with this, and I'm going to go ahead and start to apply. So as you guys, I don't know if you ever saw that, but here's what you do. You just kind of tap everywhere a little bit, and then you go in. And use a light hand, guys. Like a very light hand. Now, you can see that it might need a little bit of patting down. Just trying to make sure I get in that little nose crevice. Okay, and now I'm going to switch over to the cloth side and start to blend a little bit. Okay, and now down to the chin on the silicone side. Blend with the cloth part. Okay. Get the roof of that lip. Now the nose. I'm actually going to switch to the pointed end here. And that maybe we will get somewhere with that. And you can fold it a little bit if you need to. Okay. There we go. And again, you know, you guys get the point. But okay. And onto the forehead. And pat in. So it did do the foundation a little better. Now it's actually okay to me that this is still a little bit red. That's just, it is, and that's fine. That's the way it usually is with this foundation anyway. But as you can see, no, it's not a full coverage, but it gives you just enough that it doesn't look bad. So we've seen it's very quick, it's very, you know, it's a silicone sort of thing. So if you see a spot that kind of needs to be fixed a little bit, just do this and it works just fine. Okay, so I definitely do like this for foundation. Obviously I let you know that. And then I'm going to close it up because I don't feel like I need any more foundation. And I'm going to go ahead and go in for concealer in the shade Fair. This is Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. So you just take that sucker off for those of you who've never done this. This is a sponge, and you take this and you twist it, little clip there, and the product then gets fed into the sponge. And you do this, please pardon any weird face that I make. It just happens that way. Now, I know I said I was okay with the redness here, but I'm actually going to test out, because I haven't done that yet, test out whether this will actually cover that or not. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the cap back on, and I'm going to take the pointed side here and just sort of, actually I'm going to take the pointed side but on the cloth side and just blend it as best I can, just patting it in. Okay, go to the rounder side. Okay, very nice. So I'm going to take the cloth side here, and it does get into these points here, so bend it a little bit and go in on that. So as you can see, it did do that, and it did it very nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeshadow and stuff like that off camera, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now you see with my makeup done already, if I didn't mention it before, the eyeshadows that I used today came from the Maybelline Blushed Nudes palette. So in case you haven't seen, I've shown this some love, but in case you hadn't seen it yet, this is what it looks like. I really wish they had a mirror up there, but they don't. But everything as far as eyeshadow wise came from this. And then I went ahead and added some mascara. So the mascara that I used is the Maybelline Colossal Spider Effect. For blush, I went ahead and used an e.l.f. product, and it is the blush in here, and it is known as Bronzed Pink Beige. Sorry about that. Can't really see with my glasses on, without my glasses on. So I went ahead and did that, and then I applied some highlighter from ColourPop, and it's in the shade Forget Me Not. This is a Super Shock shadow for your cheeks, or Super Shock cheek, I'm sorry, that's how they refer to it. But it's really, really pretty. Just, yes, yes. Always make sure to put that cap back on if you have used this before. So for lips, and I'll list all this stuff down below, but for lips I used the Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Lipstick from Wet n Wild in the shade Coral Corruption. I thought that looked really nice with this. So gonna go ahead and zoom you out a little bit and we can talk about this. Alright, so I'm not mad at this, and I haven't really been mad at it when I've tested it with other stuff. I just kind of find that even though I have used other foundations that are of the same consistency as this one and the same kind of liquidiness to it, you get what I'm saying. I've tried that with these and it just didn't work. Because I've tried the Maybelline Fit Me With It. I tried I think it was CoverGirl Outlast or something like, no, it was True Blend. Okay, so I tried it out with those and they just didn't work. So you really do, when you're looking at a blender of any kind, you do have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, because it's just the way that some are formulated. It's not going to go well with a silicone applicator, even if there's cloth on the back. So just do be aware of that. I can see where, you know, the silicone blender era was just really, it was crazy because everybody wanted one, and, you know, we all kind of tried it out and went, huh? So, I mean, for me, I kind of liked that, because if you guys look back early in my channel, I got a lot of acne. And I really wasn't taking care of my skin to the best that I should have. Whereas now I do, and I don't have that situation much anymore. So, yeah, for someone who doesn't have that problem, this really would do a whole lot. And then, you know, it doesn't, I've used sponges as well, and just, it, you know, for me on a costly kind of thing, it makes you almost have to really give up half of what you paid for it. You know, and you want your products to last. Well, I mean, with regular sponges, they suck up about half of your product. So to me, that sucks up half of your money that you spent on it. But if you can, you know, figure out what's best for you as far as silicone goes, if you can find one that you like, that you're comfortable with, because there's tons out there now, you know, I would say go for it, because they're just so freaking easy to clean. They're sanitary. They're not going to mold on you. And you just don't have to worry about them as much. So, I mean, getting to my point and my thoughts about it, it's actually pretty good as long as you can find the right consistency of product. It's not going to absorb much of anything. It's just going to help set things down, smooth things out. You know, it's just the way it is, and you just saw me do it. So, I really hope that you guys like this review. Please know I'm not trying to diss anybody by saying what I'm saying about it. These are from e.l.f. They cost about $6 on their website. And remember, it is the dual-sided silicone blender. And I would recommend it. If that means anything, I would recommend this. Especially if you really want to make near full coverage with the right foundation. So, and also pay attention to what primer you use too, because that can cause a problem as well. But alright, so that's kind of what I thought about it. I'll go ahead and edit this video and then post it for you. But yeah, they're not bad, you know. They're not bad. And you guys have seen that I don't really like this one all that much as far as a palette goes. And the shadows went on really well. I was really surprised. This actually worked better after using the silicone blender on my eyes. Interesting, right? Okay, so I will stop talking. And you guys liked what you saw and you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button and then tap on the bell that pops up. That way you'll know whenever I post a new video and you can just come and see the fun. Alright, I love you guys so much. Make sure to look in the description box for info, and I will see you later.